So, just a couple days ago, I had watched the movie Titanic, and I had seen it several times before over the years, but for some reason it caught my eye the other night, and I just decided to watch it. And the past few days, ever since watching that movie, I just keep seeing different scenes from the movie, and I just kept wondering, why do I keep thinking of this movie? I've seen it so many times before. Why does this keep coming back to my mind? So I just had asked the Lord if there was a specific reason why I kept thinking about this movie, and I just wanted to share the message that I got from watching that movie. So basically, it was really more the midpoint and the end of the movie that kept coming back to mind. And I'm sure many have seen the movie, but if you haven't, basically all of these people are on the Titanic, and the ship hits an iceberg and it starts to flood. And basically over time, the ship starts to break apart. There's people literally scrambling all over the place, crying, full of fear. They're worried, they're anxious, they don't know what's going to happen to them. And really, the movie just continues with, how can they save themselves? Can they get onto a lifeboat? What can they do to get out of this terrible situation? And basically, here you have this event that happens where they hit this iceberg, and the creator of the ship all along had said that it was the unsinkable ship, that there was no way that, this ship would ever sink. So when this event happens, it was, the people are just eating and drinking. They're sailing on this amazing ship. And here they think they're, safe. They're just riding along, having the time of their life. And then this tragedy happens. And even in the movie, they talk about how there were not enough lifeboats for the amount of people that were on the ship. And in the movie, they say there was boats for less than half the people. And we're talking, a few thousand people that are on this boat. So this unthinkable event happens, but they can see with the ship deteriorating that it's inevitable. So, as I'm watching this, you feel like your adrenaline's rushing because you're thinking of yourself, what would you do as this boat is about to go under? So you see some of the people that get into lifeboats. There's other people that, jump overboard. They fall into the icy water. And basically, one of the last scenes towards the end, you see Jack and Rose. They go over the railing of the ship, and they basically ride the ship straight down into the water. And so at this point, the ship is sunk. You have people either in lifeboats, you have people in the icy water, you have people clinging to, debris in the water, and it's just chaos. There's people screaming, and it's just chaos, basically. And then another scene that kept coming back to mind was where Rose is laying on a piece of debris, and you see this lifeboat that comes and it's shining a light, in this pitch darkness out into the water, looking for anybody that might be alive or anybody that needs help. And it's kind of just an eerie scene where they're just saying, is anyone out there? And as they're going through, they just see a bunch of, dead bodies floating in the water, and it's just like a helpless situation. But then they come and they end up saving Rose, and she's saved. She's put into this lifeboat, and she makes it to the land safely. So as I kept thinking about this movie and just asking the Lord, what is he trying to speak through this, this secular movie? What is the reason that I keep thinking of all these scenes, in my head? And I felt like it was just a parallel to life here on earth, and even life, in the past few years, and even in this moment where the earth is like the ship. So, all of the people on the earth, we're going through different shakings that are happening around us. But there's still people that are just, enjoying life and not having a care in the world and really just looking out for themselves, just doing what they want, living how they want, even though these shakings are occurring all around us, it's like they don't care. And in Matthew 24, verse 38 and 39, it says, "For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." And I really just feel that that's a picture of today, that many people just seem like they don't have a care in the world. They're just living their lives, haphazardly, and not giving a thought to, the destruction that's coming. And then also, I felt like the lifeboat represented Jesus and salvation, and how, there weren't a lot of people that were on the Titanic that were able to make it into a lifeboat. So it reminded me of the narrow gate. And in Matthew 7, verses 13 and 14, it says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the way that leads to life, and only a few find it." So just as the lifeboat in the movie was shining a light in the darkness, looking for anyone that it could save, I feel like that's what we need to be doing now. We have the lifeboat, we have Jesus, and we have salvation, and we'll spend eternity in heaven with him. But there's so many around us that are basically headed for hell and for, eternal destruction. And we need to be shining the light in this dark world to save them, to bring them onto the lifeboat, with Jesus, and lead them to salvation. And in Matthew 5:14, it says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." And that verse has also just been in my head recently of, we need to be set on a hill where our light just shines like a beacon of hope and a beacon of light. And I just wanted to share these parallels, that I just felt like this movie was almost bringing a prophetic picture to mind. And even though I don't care for a lot of the cursing and whatnot in this movie, and I've seen it so many times before, I felt like the Lord had led me to watch it recently, because I just got a completely different picture as I was watching it in the days after. So I just want to remind you, just, shine your light in the darkness. There's so many people that are lost and they're hopeless, and, they need to be awakened to the truth of what's really coming. And so I pray that this word blesses you today. I pray that you would just shine like a bright light in the darkness. God bless you.